All right, we have our first guest or our
Our
second
second
guest.
guest.
Sorry, I'm behind joining us. If you want to come around, we'll make some room for you. Welcome, Cary. Thank you for joining us.
Certainly.
Do you want to
What?
tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
No.
Perfect. Moving along.
So next,
Anywho,
So my name's Cary Jasgur. I've worked in this industry for more time than I'm willing to admit. So like 3 years.
3, 4 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
nice.
Three and another number after that. Uh, Currently, I head up the Enterprise Resilience Program Office for Amalgamated Bank. Prior to that, I was a global consultant. So I've pretty much seen the good, bad, the ugly within our industry.
What's the good?
What's the bad? No, I want to start with the
You
bad.
want to
No,
start
but
with the-
we'll start with the good.
let's-
That's fine.
Yeah, I think we could talk more about the ugly. That's why.
That's very true. So the good is more and more organizations are actually realizing that resilience is important. It is no longer a nice to have, it is a need to have.
Mhm.
The bad, most organizations are realizing too late that it's a need to have.
Gotcha.
The ugly is everything else.
And that's a lot.
I was employed for 15 years because of the ugly.
Do you feel that a lot of organizations are now that they're realizing that they need resilience, and as you put it, that's a good thing, but do you think they're all trying to rush to get caught up with things, which is a challenge considering all the things that keep going on in the world right now?
It is. I think that for a lot of organizations that are non-regulated, it's the let's get there quick, tick the box, and oh, good, we're done. We've done it all. Yeah. Those that are regulated are taking more strategic and measured approach because they're bound by what they need to do in order to be compliant. I work for a bank. We're highly regulated.
Yeah.
I've spent the last year completely revamping our program. When I started, it was 7 siloed areas that never spoke to each other at all. Technology never spoke to cyber. I'm like, really? You guys should like be roommates kind of thing.
Yeah.
So now I have all 7 under my purview. Fortunately, we've changed a lot of leadership, so everyone's more on board, came from more seasoned backgrounds, and they're like, this is great that we're all actually communicating, so when something happens, we're all aware, we all know what we're supposed to do, so just set us loose and we'll go do it. When I was a consultant, not the case.
Well, it's good when everyone is talking anyway, even if there isn't a crisis or a disaster occurring that you're focusing on, because it gets you more aware of what's happening in each area of things. Your area, Cary, may have a project coming up that may impact me, but because we're talking, I'm aware of it. I'm preparing for it. It's beneficial. You don't have to have a disaster to have these conversations.
And you're correct that communication it's necessary in an event, but it's crucial for day-to-day operations. Mm-hmm. The more you talk, the more you communicate, the more you collaborate, the less likely that you're going to be caught off guard when something does happen. Emphasis on the when, not if.
Right.
Now, how were you able to fold those silos together? Because we've seen a lot of our fellow practitioners recognize that there's silos and either not have the political capital or management support to take pieces of people's fiefdoms and kingdoms away from each other.
So I used my consulting background on how to bridge those together. My first week at the bank, I was required to present my vision to the board.
In your first week?
Yes.
So they gave you 5 days?
Yes.
Very generous.
Yeah. And so I basically thought, let's go big or go home. So I presented my 12-month roadmap, how to fold everything together. I was shocked when they were like, this is wonderful. I mean, we're a 100-year-old bank. How did we not do this before? So I have the full support of the board of directors and the CEO.
And did you ask for a pay raise after that when they said this was wonderful?
I did get a nice bonus. So
nice.
That's at least something. And I no longer have to travel to New York, so I can stay in Florida where it's nice and comfortable.
Nice.
Hot, but comfortable.
Actually, not too bad. Where James lives is warmer than where I live.
Compared to Phoenix,
Yeah.
everything's not too bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
yeah, that's true.
I mean, the only thing warmer than outside is, you know, the oven in your house. So
Now, you were presenting a couple of sessions here, correct?
yes. So I had my breakout session yesterday on, are you focusing on the proper areas of resilience for your organization? Very well received, very well attended. Lots of really good engaging questions. And I saw several light bulbs kind of go off going, oh yeah, we totally forgot about that. So that was great. On the main stage just earlier today, presented with Cheyenne for the compensation study, focusing on gender and ethnicity. So that was really, really good, really warm in there. So if anyone needs a nap, just, you know, step in there and you'll be good.
We did hear that there was a little toasty
Yes.
in general session today.
Yes, it was. And I was only up there for 20 minutes and I'm like, I'm going to pass out.
Oh, wow. So what were some of the nuggets then from the session yesterday that maybe you noticed where people went, oh, wow, yeah.
The big one actually is human capital resilience. That's not something that a lot of individuals in our profession actually think about. That's an HR thing, but it really is vital. If your A team is unavailable, do you have a properly trained and skilled B team to step up? And at the department level, they kind of figure out, yeah, we have 2 people cross-trained, but never looking at it from an organizational level.
Yeah.
Because the likelihood of a department going offline is not really common. It's more that's going to be a rippling effect. The second one is the preparation for simultaneous events. So living in Florida, so hurricane, which also breeds power outages and things that can compound and make the problem you're experiencing that much worse. So previously we were always, let's focus on this thing.
Yep.
And that's all we're going to recover from, despite what else happens. But more and more, especially more reliance on technology, makes every organization that much more vulnerable.
Yeah, we had a lot of people talk to us yesterday about polycrisis. And certainly, like you said, in the banking industry, if you were to have ransomware, that is also a brand and reputation problem. That's a business continuity problem. It's not just, we have to shut down a server. You've got transactions, like you mentioned, you have regulatory issues. You have multiple issues happening.
And financial services is one of those targets for cyber attacks. We're highly vulnerable. And the fact that we're highly transactional, as you mentioned, that being offline for 10 minutes is a huge impact.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I hate going onto online banking with my bank and, just waiting 30 seconds for something. That drives me crazy.
I expect my card to always work. I expect to always be able to use mobile, remote capture. We expect it to never be down as a consumer.
And as a consumer, that is both good and bad, that's the expectation.
Yeah.
As the industry, it puts a whole lot of pressure on myself to ensure that the bank is always up, always online, always ready. And if we're not having those contingencies in place that would allow us to shift or pivot, I mean, we only have 7 branches. 4 of them are in New York.
Yeah.
So if one of our branches has to close for civil unrest or something, we have a lot of customers that are similar to me. They're not really mobile. So going to another branch is a big problem, or they're of a certain age group where technology is not their friend. So they get really upset if they cannot walk in the door. Even though we try to assist them with, hey, you can call us. Yes, we actually, oddly enough, we offer training for online banking for our new customers.
Interesting. That's smart, though. You recognize where your customer base is at and what their needs are, and you proactively meet them. We've seen several like regional credit unions. They offer that training after they've had an issue where stuff doesn't work, and they have people lighting up their call center saying, well, what is a mobile app? How do I they wait, they are reactive.
So when you open an account online, not in person, online, it automatically directs you to the training. If you open an account on the mobile app, it automatically directs you to the training. If you go in person, you're given a link to the training so that you can understand how to use the mobile applications that our bank because we do not have branches on every corner.
Yeah,
we're not Starbucks.
But that's a thoughtful part of your resilience
strategy,
because, like you said, having 7 branches and 4 in a concentrated area, if you have to shut them down for civil unrest, you're pushing the majority of your customers online. And then, like I said, that's where you create those secondary crises. We've seen a lot of organizations now. The call center is melting down, and the hold time goes from 1 minute to 2 hours. And so now, you have these cascading events.
And I mean, even something as minor as a branch closure, as you just mentioned, that can ripple across the entire organization. Even though it's relatively minor, it can have a compounding effect. I mean, our call center is not large, and does not operate 7x24.
Yeah.
So hold times can be longer. Fortunately, we've only had, since I've been there, we've only had 1 branch closure, and that was only for a day, and one of our smaller branches, so that was at least beneficial.
So if you do that kind of thing for your customers, if a branch closes, they opened up an account, they are hopefully familiar and remembered some of the mobile app activity that they can do, even if they can't get to their branch. What kind of things should the bank, or not just the bank, but an organization do for its employees, not just its customers, in a proactive manner?
This is where we are lacking. I'll be honest. It's one of my major goals right now. We have a almost non-existent communication path to employees outside of email. And not all of our employees have access to email outside of office hours. So if we're sending a message, after 5 p.m. on a Tuesday, they're not going to see it till they get to work at 8 a.m. on Wednesday. Right. So all of our branch employees are all hourly. So they're not allowed to have access. They're not allowed to work remotely. So my major initiative right now is to launch a notification system to do just that. So we were unable, the incident that we had for the branch closure, it was delivered via email. All the branch employees showed up the next day and the building was closed.
Gotcha.
Because they have no access to email. So they didn't know till they commuted all the way there. It was our DC branch, so commute's not that bad. But they show up and the door's locked. So that is something we're massively lacking. Depending on what an organization does, communication with employees is vital. Those are your tools. That's how things get done. And if they're in the know, then everything runs smoothly. If they're not, you might as well go pull the plug on the server because the impact's the same.
Well, yeah, if they showed up at a branch, there's guaranteed to be standing in front of that closed branch, bad mouthing, why didn't I get told about this? And they will be using social media
right there on their phone,
friends.
Right there on their phone, tweeting that my bank's closed
in real time and tagging Cary.
Yeah,
which is why I'm not on social media, so therefore I don't see those.
Exactly. We're almost at time, Cary, but since we're at DRJ Fall, talk to us a little bit about your work with the editorial advisory board with DRJ.
So it has been a very rewarding experience. Everyone, when they look at their career, there's one reason or another why they decided to do it. Mine is to give back to the industry. So the EAB provided me a method in which to enhance and grow the industry. My favorite thing when I was a consultant is I'm changing the world one company at a time. So this is essentially the same thing. It allows me to have a broad impact and talk to a lot of people and influence a lot of things to make our industry better. And more importantly, one of the things that is very passionate to me is to bring new people in. Nobody wakes up and says, I want to do business continuity. It just does not happen.
No.
We either got voluntold or we fell into it and we've been trying our entire careers to get back out.
Yeah. I fell into it by accident. I know, well, we had a chat yesterday and there were so many people who have, fell into it by accident or I got voluntold.
Yeah, I started my career in finance.
Exactly.
And look where you are.
And it's interesting. I think a lot of us in the U.S., we take DRJ for granted. These are the conferences I'm used to going to. And DRJ is the biggest business continuity conference in the world. And I was speaking to someone who was in the U.S. for the first time, at DRJ for the first time, and they were blown away because they said, well, if we have 100 people and 10 sessions, that's a big deal. And here you've got 650 people, 50 sessions. So I think we do kind of take for granted, but it is impressive how much content is happening this week and how many people are here.
It really is, and the diversity of topics that cover, you know, every aspect of our industry. So it's not just all business continuity, it's not all DR. It's a blending of everything. It's taking a look at how to change, manipulate, and upgrade your program. I remember my very first one, there was probably like 5 sessions on how to do BIA. You know, after 30,000 BIAs, I think I'm good. But I'm excited to see the evolution of the sessions, the speakers, and the knowledge that's being transferred.
Yeah. So if people want to reach out to you and talk to you or have questions, how can they find you?
Twitter and Instagram, I think.
Apparently,
yes. Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. No. LinkedIn is about it. Okay. That's the extent of my social media presence. I do a lot there through the EAB, as well as the bank is a very avid poster on LinkedIn as well. So that's the best way to get a hold of me. My email address also. Fortunately, I do not have a phone number because then just vendors call. So
LinkedIn. We'll
yes.
say LinkedIn.
Okay. Definitely.
Well, Cary, it's great to meet you. Because
pleasure.
A few years ago, we were doing a panel or something together. And you know, so this is the first time I'm finally getting to meet him.
Okay,
yeah, virtual panels. So now I finally get to meet you face to face. So
and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
All right. Thanks, Cary. We'll let you get some lunch, but we appreciate you stopping by today.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll take that. There you go. Okay. Thanks, Cary.
Certainly.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
I appreciate, you know, not a lot of people are willing or able to talk about their specific program, their strengths, and the things they're looking to grow. So I really appreciate Cary talking about the things he's working on tactically, strategically. People aren't always that forthcoming in public, or a lot of times their employer doesn't let them.
Yeah.
So very, very exciting to hear how a bank, what their strengths and weaknesses, and you know, they're not the biggest bank in the world. Like you said, they don't have 35,000 branches. They have 7. So things are impactful at scale. So thank you, Cary, for that.
And it's interesting to see that, you know, even a small bank versus a large bank, we all experience some of the exact same challenges, like his communications.
Yeah, well, I'm in our field of resilience, and if my debit card doesn't work, or I can't get cash, or I can't transfer money, or whatever, I don't care. Like intellectually, I understand. As a business continuity and resilience professional, I understand. Emotionally, I'm like, I want my money. I have to move this money to so it is a very difficult industry to be in, because we expect it to never, ever be down.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah. It's one of the areas that nobody tolerates having an impact to.
Correct.
You know, do not, you know, someone told me years ago, employees will tolerate a lot of things, a lot of issues, you know, in their workforce, but don't mess with their money.
No,
you know.
Never.
So financial institutions, you know, they really have to keep things up and running, and, you know, making sure that people like me and you, we don't get upset, you know.
Just want to get paid, Alex.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I want. Make sure I have access to my money. So we are coming to the end of hour 1 already. It flew by.
We have reached the bottom of the hour. We want to thank Speak and Spark, our sponsor this hour. Speak and Spark is the Speaker Bureau marketplace connecting event leaders with speakers, trainers, and consultants in the cybersecurity, business continuity, disaster recovery, emergency management, and resilience field. Their mission is connect audiences to experts, which sparks knowledge and fosters learning. So thank you, Speak and Spark, for
Thank you.
sponsoring yesterday and today during the broadcast.
Yes, thanks everyone at Speak and Spark. So we'll take a break, 10-minute break, and we will be back with hour 2.
Looking forward to it.
Okay.
If you like that video, thumbs up. If you didn't like that video, thumbs down. But leave me a message and let me know your thoughts. Of course, don't forget to subscribe. And in the meantime, stay prepared, everybody.